Today's podcast is sponsored by Fire Facilities Incorporated, expert engineers, designers, and manufacturers of steel training towers, burn rooms, and mobile units that are all made in the USA. Welcome back to 3 Point Firefighter. Today's guest is Nick Newman. Now, Nick Newman is one of my all-time favorite people that walk this earth, or have ever walked the earth, or probably ever will walk the earth. Now, Nick is an 18-year veteran, Lexington, Kentucky. Now, I worked at Lexington, but he started working right after I left, so I never got to work with him. He's been on, last 9 years you've been on Engine 5. Before that, you were on EC1 as a paramedic. You've got a bachelor's in animal science from Illinois State. You have a bachelor's in art history from the Academy of Art University of San Francisco. You're married to a police officer, more specifically a police commander, right? And you have a 10-year-old son who has a really cool name, right? Ace. And you're the exact same age right now as Elvis was when he died. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Nick Newman. Brother Newman, how are you, buddy?
Those guys are under intense pressure, and we had a guy leave our house to go start his tour, his 5-year tour of riding ambulances, and I remember, like, I can't say it to you because you won't understand it. You're not going to be the same when this is over. When you get assigned back to a ladder or an engine, you're not going to be the same person fundamentally. This thing, if you're not mentally prepared, it can be a meat grinder. Yeah. A lot of things. It was a meat grinder on my marriage. It was my first marriage. It was a meat grinder, man. And so it's just, you wish them luck, and then you also get really happy that it's not you.
And you're at EC1. EC1 was, like, for me, in my time, EC1 and EC6, especially EC6, was the busiest ones at the time. EC1 is, at least when I was there, was downtown at the headquarters and had a pretty big running district. So EC1 was very, very busy at the time. So was that the same for you?
Of honor. Yeah, it was for me as well. And it's honestly, busy makes it go faster. Because it's like, because this 18 years have been a blur. And it's going faster all the time. I don't want to get into Isaac Newton with you because I know you're a big fan, but it's like time is speeding up at exponential rates. I went to Graceland.
Okay.
When I was in 1991.
Okay.
I was 11 years old. Elvis Presley had only been dead for 13 years.
Okay.
When I was there as a kid, it might as well have been a Civil War battlefield, historically. But the guy had only been dead 13 years. But from my perspective as an 11-year-old,
right?
I went back 2 weeks ago for the first time. I went back 2 weeks ago, and I was like, you mean the guy had only been dead? He'd only been dead 13. Like, Michael Jackson's been dead more than that. Like, the whole thing is just, time is blown by, and I wonder if when my separation from the fire service happens, is time going to seem to continue on that trajectory? Is it going to slow down because I don't have the markers?
Right.
I wonder. These are things these are the things that keep me up at night.
So I totally get it. So I 28 years in the fire service, and to me, it is a blink of an eye. It seems like it's gone by so fast. Now I have a date when I want to retire, and it's it's just a couple years away, less than if I want it to be. And time is creeping by now because I have a date I want to leave and do other things. But every Saturday and Sunday, and me and my lovely bride start each day the same way. We have coffee, we sit downstairs, everybody's asleep, animals aren't bugging us too much, and we have one of those frames that you can upload pictures to from your phone or whatever else. And they just scroll in the background while we talk. And did it today. I do it just about every weekend. I look at those pictures. All of a sudden, something will pop up of my daughters when they were like 3 or 4. My oldest daughter now, 24. I mean, you remember Haley and Zach. Yeah, they miss Aunt Nick. But I see that, and I'm like, man, that seems like it happened 2 weeks ago, but it's been 12 years. Scary.
It's all crazy. And that makes me think about the wear and tear on a person in this job, whether you are able to see it or not. I think about the toll that and the job is going to take a toll, be it physical, mental, or whatever. It's going to take a toll on you. Mm-hmm. And a thing that I've had to learn to stop doing is comparative suffering.
Okay, listen.
So if someone's having a hard time with something, I don't need to bring my things to the table and go, well, you didn't do all this. You weren't on the internet for 5 years. I don't have comparative suffering's not it. Think about a tire on a car. There are 3 ways that a tire on a car is not functional anymore. A big traumatic thing when they roll over a nail and it pops and all the air goes out. Mm-hmm. The other way is if the alignment's off and it's not square on the ground and it's off, that part's going to get more wear than the inside, and that's going to cause undue wear. Mm-hmm. And then third, if it's perfectly aligned and everything's healthy and everything's great on this tire, and it goes over 150,000 miles of good road, it's still going to wear out. So the thing I've had to learn to do is be a little more sensitive to what might be causing these issues, or what might be causing the catalyst. Is it just wear and tear from 150,000 miles of good road?
Right.
Or is it the big nail? So just no more comparative suffering. If anybody listening, we're just going to stop doing that. Everybody, because they might have shown up with not much tread on the tire.
Right.
And then who knows? So me being more sensitive, thinking about time and the wear and tear, and think about your young guys. If you've got a Proby or a new guy on your truck, that thing that you're brushing off, especially early on, is the worst thing they've ever seen. That's their worst. That nothing brush off run is their worst.
Right.
You don't know how much treads on the tire or how balanced that tire is. You don't know. So that's what I'm trying to think about with our new guys. We have 2 new guys at our station, and it's like, it might be nothing here, but you don't know what kind of tread they've got on their wheel.
Right.
So
that's funny you bring that up, because something so similar, and this is why you and I are such good friends, because I think we see each thing like that very similar. And one of the things was when I was on engine 12 in Lexington, we made just the most god-awful, horrible wreck I think I've ever seen, easily. And it was very emotional. There were bystanders that were trying to pull some people out, kids out, and they were a mess. And it was really hard for me to see in everything going on, because there was such an emotional component. Not that there isn't one at every scene, but this one had an elevated. So I get back to the firehouse and it's fucking my brain up. And I know it is. It's just not right. Something's not in my brain right. I feel like the round peg in the square hole, just my brain's trying to compress it all. So I go to my senior man at the time, and I said, I didn't know, I couldn't just come out and say, hey man, that run fucked me up. But what I could say was, man, that was a heck of a wreck. And he said, yep. And he walked away. And I have the benefit of hindsight, and I remember that day pretty good. Here's what I wanted to have happened. Man, that was a pretty fucked up wreck. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff like that. And here's how I felt about it. Right. You know, what you're feeling isn't not normal, and here's some things we can do about it. I didn't get that. And to this day, I cannot go over New Circle Road and Harrodsburg Road right there without instantly going back.
Right. When you work in a place long enough, man, every street corner, every major building, certainly it'll hold. But what I tell my guys it has nothing to do. It comes from Al-Anon. It's the 3 C's. It's how. So if they were to come to me and say, "Hey man, I don't know about that. That was a little more intense than I expected," I'd say, "Here's the 3 C's. Here's how I get over it. The first C, you can't control it, you didn't cause it, and you can't cure it. So you didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you can't cure it.
Right.
The only thing you can affect now is how you approach dealing and processing what has happened, and that's how you approach. And I look at the new fire service
Mhm.
and how different it is from when I showed up, and I think that's the future, is being a little more aware and less dismissive just because of the severity compared to what you've been through. I think that's the future of the fire service. I think for better or worse, at least we're going to talk.
Yes, I think you're right. It's like it's retread. Your tire might be worn down, but you can retread it.
Retread. I thank you for taking my analogy further. Yes.
Yeah,
Talking
it's
retread. And
20 years ago, you just couldn't do that.
The most powerful two things people can say is it's not your fault, and the way you feel is not weird.
Right.
I've stood exactly where you stand, and I've had that feeling as well. So it's not unusual. If you can tell those two things to somebody, that does more good than telling them a war story about how much worse you had it.
Right. Yes. That's ego. That's ego.
Didn't have cheese for macaroni.
We used broken glass, and we liked it.
We ate broken glass. I long for those days.
Bleeding gums, blood in my stool. Them's was the days.
Yeah, if you didn't
OJ was just a running back.
Toilet. If you didn't leave a liter of blood in the toilet, did you even eat that week?
I'm like you though. I do believe that the fire service is sort of, you see more and more mental stuff out there. I got to interview Jason Patton from Fire Department Chronicles, and if you watch his videos, he's very funny, right? And so that was my thing. I was like, that's my end. I want to spend the next hour talking to me about the videos. Man, we took a left down Sirius Street because I didn't realize just how involved he was with firefighter, first responder, mental health, and Banyan Treatment Center.
Right.
And floored that somebody is using his, for lack of a better word, celebrity to help brother firefighters and sister firefighters. But what I really didn't understand was if you go down to Banyan or any place around there, evidently he and his people will get a hold of you and come meet you and talk to you and help you with the process. Awesome. It really is. Because, I hate when people yearn for the old days because I mean, they weren't fantastic. I mean, the 80s were fun, but I can remember a lot of shit that should have killed me in the 80s.
How far back do you want to go? I don't want to fight fire in a cotton fire coat.
Yeah, exactly. With buckets.
Yeah, you want to paraffin wax on your face?
Yeah. So. Well, I always use this example. I've said it on here several times. People tend to wax nostalgic for riding tailboard. Okay, I wish I could ride tailboard. I rode tailboard when I first came on, and it blew ass because if it's really cold or rainy, it sucks. If it's you got a shitty driver, it sucks. If it's bad traffic and the driver has to do that, swerving shit, it sucks. There are very few really good days where it's a really sunny day, you got a good driver, and it was fun riding on the back of the truck. It sucked. I'm sorry. And people that...
There's a city job that'll let you do that.
Yeah, garbage man.
If that's really awesome, there's a city job. You're overqualified for it.
Oh my goodness. But, yes, you're right. What's our next subject? Tell me another subject about the fire. Pick one.
Oh, I don't know. Are you editing this heavily?
No.
Oh, okay, great.
I might edit a little bit. I don't know. Usually I edit my stupid shit. Are you noticing how this eye is like halfway closed? Have you seen this? What's up with that? Are you getting that?
Mine?
No, mine. Look at mine.
No, you look great.
Well, I know I look great. I look great no matter what. But I feel like I need to try to open it wider. Is that a thing?
Let me talk about Building Crews.
Building Crews starring Nicholas Newman. And go.
It would be the easy button. If you're putting together building, if you're building one from scratch, to get 3 guys who think like you and talk like you and look like you. If you're building a crew of little clones, is that better because it makes you comfortable? When you're building a crew from me, I think it starts from the top down. I think you need a leader that you can trust and trust you.
Okay.
I think you need a redneck that can fix anything. We got one of those at our station.
Okay.
I think you need a jerry rig, out of the box thinker, redneck. And it's not in the South. There's rednecks everywhere. I've been to Boston. You may Boston. They don't talk like it. I think you need brute force. I think I many times has the juice head gorilla on my truck bailed me out of the jam just because out of brute force, and
Right.
then probably going to round it out with a with even a really competent EMT or a medic. And I think that crew is a Swiss Army knife.
Ooh.
And that's going to serve you better than 4 guys who fish the same fishing hole you do and watch the same TV show you do and think like you. They look like me and they talk like me, and they might just be the next best thing, but not quite me. That's an Eminem lyric. So
Tell me. I know.
Yeah. So, but tell me what. So build a crew for me. Tell me what you would look for in a crew from the top down.
So a captain that is, based on my experience, the best captains I had were extremely patient.
Yeah, me too.
Very patient.
I require patience.
You what?
I require patience.
Oh, same.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
So I think that is the foundation for any good crew is a patient, educated leader. I think now the problem comes, do you have a driver or do you have a senior man? So if it's a driver, I want somebody very technical, right? You talked about your redneck that can fix anything. A driver operator, to me, is the most technical job on the fire ground of every possible job you can think about. I don't care if you're talking about special ops, incident commander, pipeman. I don't care. You can't do your job till you get there, and you can't do your job well if your shit don't work. So I think you got to have a guy that can fix stuff on the fly, think out of the box, to your point, and then your backstepper, just hungry, new and hungry. That's it. I think you can really do a lot of good. You can save a lot of lives that way. My experience.
That's a good crew.
I've never been any of those 3, by the way. I've never been those 3.
No, I've been the makes funny comments at the movie guy.
Boom. Again, there's a reason we're such good friends.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
You've always been good to me, so I appreciate it.
Hey, we rode the ambulance together. We had a lot of fun. The first person I saw die in front of me, not the first dead person, but the first person that I saw that went from talking to dying was with you.
Was it? I can't get specifics. Was it at, do you know which street I live on?
No.
Homestead Lane?
Oh, you live over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right?
Yeah. It was a nursing home.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yes, I don't remember any runs. I remember this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got it because we were doing transfers, right? So we got her blood pressure, she was having trouble with that. She was talking to us. We put her literally talking to us, put her in an ambulance. And that's when she crossed the Rainbow Bridge right there.
Weren't we singing a song being silly?
To her, yes.
We were singing a song to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she crossed the Rainbow Bridge. You know what I heard the most about riding with you in those.
What's that?
You're a decent, you could pick out a piano.
A little bit.
And anytime we would cross the communal piano in a nursing home, you would always do ragtime. And absolutely, they loved it. I remember them loving that.
Yeah.
Isn't this strange to remember?
Yes. And it's funny you brought that up because in one of my firehouses, where headquarters is, they have this one room. The guys have made this one day room. It's very personal. It's it's got cool shit on the walls and they got candles. I mean, it's like a little decompression area, but they have a kid piano. It's about this tall, that wide, but it works. It's a clink, clink, clink. And so I was in there talking to about something. And I saw the piano. I went over there and I started playing Song for Elise by Mozart. Okay. And I turned around and one of the guys was literally doing this. He goes, and then you got to stop. You pretty much, at that point, you really should stop and just walk out of the room.
More, leave them thinking that you are Sir Elton John.
Yes. And never bring it up again.
and never bring it up again.
Yep.
I have one killer magic trick that I love, and then that I just leave after that. Just it's a card trick, and I'm done.
So, also something unique about us working together on the ambulance. It's the only job I've ever been fired from. And yes, those from Lexington listening, I did get fired from Lexington.
Yeah.
I got fired from Rural Metro.
Did you?
I did.
You?
I got fired. Do you remember our manager, Kevin? He was a Army Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he pulled me in one day on the end of a shift. And I loved that job. I really did. I hate working for private ambulances, but working for that group and working with you and the other people was awesome. So he pulled me in one day out of the blue and said, hey, listen, you're fired. That was it. And so now this guy could kill me at any time with just a finger, I'm sure. And I think I motherfucked him up one side and down the other. And he was so cool. He was so collected. He's like, I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. Well, why the fuck you let me go? He never told me. It's still a mystery. I've got some ideas why I got fired. My girlfriend at the time got promoted to manager like a day later.
Yeah.
And that was...
So the next day I was told I had to move.
Oh, yeah. So you were roommates.
So I moved in with you.
Yes. We lived together, and we had a lot of fun.
We did.
We had a lot of parties.
Some nice young ladies.
Yes. The ladies that worked that ran the apartment complex.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Good times.
It was good times, man. I'm old. Now I'm old. I'm an old man.
Yep. I know, right? Where does all that good times go?
If you're listening to this and you're in inter-facility transport, God bless you.
Yeah.
Send me your Venmo and I'll buy you lunch.
Well, you also started on Facebook a group called Adult Survivors of Rural Metro EMS.
And it's gone so far beyond. I started it and walked away, and I came back, and it's actually people are using it to vent.
Yep. Let's see. We went to where is it in Florida? We drove down to where Ybor City is.
Yeah, we went to Tampa.
That's it.
That's there, and I couldn't stop thinking about that trip. That was a fun trip.
It was a fun trip.
Oh, no, I was just in Tampa. That's where this tan's coming from.
Nice tan. We're getting ready. We always go every year. Me and my wonderful bride, we go to Siesta Key every single year in Sarasota.
Which side? That's on the Gulf side, right?
That's on the Gulf side.
Yeah. Well, Rob Crow, my first captain.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to him lately?
No, but I worked with him for years at Station 12.
Yeah, I had lunch with him the other day. He came back into town because he lives in Key West.
Yes, he does. He works for a dive boat or something?
Has his own.
He has his own now?
Yeah.
Good for Robbie, man.
So my son couldn't have a birthday party because of we had this disease in Kentucky. It was like a respiratory thing.
No, didn't ring a bell.
So bad.
Probably tobacco.
No, Robbie Crow said, "Well, forget it. You bring him here to Florida. It's just us down here," and he took him out fishing in the Gulf.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Yep.
That's my.
Robbie's a great guy.
He liked me that much. I was not an easy recruit. I was not.
What?
I was not.
What truck were you on when you came out as a sub?
Ariel 6.
Is that in the cave?
It was in the cave, Station 16.
Okay. Yeah.
So I made a mistake in training by saying to someone, "Hey, just a heads up, not super comfortable with like heights."
You fucked up there.
Yeah, made a real tactical error. Out of the 26 of us, probably 11 were not super comfortable with heights, but only one person said it out loud.
Yeah.
So they were like, "You know what? I think a ladder company is right where you need to be, bud." So,
nice.
But Robbie still tells the story. I think he tells it like a father, like watching this dude who didn't want to be on that ladder at all. I wrapped up my year on Halloween. It was the end of my probationary year, and I put the ladder up without him knowing, and I took the 2 pumpkins from in front of the station and then took them up the ladder and dropped them off the side. And when I came down, he was out. He knew I was out there, and he said, "What do you like?" I thought I was going to get chewed out, and he was like, "Man, I'm so proud of you." He's like, 6 months ago, there's no way you could hang off the side of that ladder and drop a pumpkin. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. I thought I was in for a chewing.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what's funny about that? I've realized I'm not afraid of heights either, but I'm just uncomfortable climbing aerials.
Yeah.
Now I'll do it. It's just that it's just getting to the top's a little more nerve wracking for me than it is most people. So I was stationed with Robbie. He was on the aerial. I was on the engine at 12, and they would have to raise it every day, him and Marshall Griggs. So I would go out every day and climb the aerial after they raised it. I told them, I said, look, I hate climbing that thing, so I need to get better at it. So they would raise it, and they'd come get me if I forgot, and I'd climb up to the top. I'd look around, climb down, climb up, climb down, and I got way more comfortable with it.
Yeah. So, but back to my earlier point, if I had just stayed quiet, I wouldn't have this, Robbie and I wouldn't have gotten as close as we are now.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have had that experience on that truck, even though I'm an engine guy now. I wouldn't have had that experience that I can look back on, and everything would have been completely different if I hadn't been a dummy and stuck my foot directly in my mouth about not being crazy about it. I'll say a name because I know he's listening. I told it in training to a guy named Wade Miracle.
Hey, he came on with me. I love Wade.
And he's listening. I know he's listening.
Oh, good. Hey, Wade, what's up, dog?
The best guy.
Yes.
I think that's where it was like, well, you're on a ladder truck now, bud. Congratulations.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about Wade? So when we were in training, we all kind of tell our story, like how we got to be a firefighter. And Wade, if I get it wrong, let me know. But I think Wade was a teacher. Yeah. And a bunch of firemen came and did some big presentation at their school. And he kind of like, that's cool. I want to do that. And not only did he do it, he's done it to the nth degree. I loved working with Wade and coming on with Wade. Great guy. I remember his wife's name. Now tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know why I remember his wife's name. I don't know that I met her. Sally. Yes. And I don't know that I ever met. What's that?
She's awesome too.
I've never met her, but for some reason I know his wife's name, and I cannot tell you why I know that.
They're glued, man. I hear Wade and Sally more than I hear Wade. Wade and Sally.
Wade and Sally, yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's one of the best. He's a district major now. And
wow.
There's one better, and that's my district major. But he's up there. It's a close second.
Who's your district major?
His name is Shane Pointer.
I don't know him.
Awesome dude. Like, yeah.
There's some dude from Lexington that's now one of our dispatchers.
Okay.
It's a weird last name, and I don't know how to pronounce it or anything. But anyway, I guess he doesn't work for Lexington anymore.
Oh, I don't know. And he came up with y'all?
I just heard like 2 days ago that he goes, hey, because everything in Lexington, they always, hey, some guy from Lexington. I'm like, I wasn't the mayor of Lexington. So I don't know.
You're the only guy down there. Well, I do that with you too. I asked for a direction to a magic shop in your hometown, and you didn't.
Yep. We ended up having a couple drinks, having a good time. I got to meet your brother, Tim.
My brother, Tim's awesome. That's my guy.
He is awesome. He's a great guy. He doesn't seem anything like you. And another little thing, your dad cut my hair for years before I knew it was your dad.
Yeah, that's true. He's retired now. That doesn't cut hair anymore.
Yep.
Someone in the fire service shows up on day one because their dad was a fireman. What I say is, awesome, Clipper. I'm going to cut hair now because my dad was a barber. So clearly, it transfers.
Yeah. You don't have to study for it. It's
not to study.
It's osmosis.
I'm a barber's son. Yeah, sit in that chair. You want to high and tight because that's the only one I know how to do.
You want a Jada Pinkett Smith? Hey, listen, that just went topical.
What did?
Jada Pinkett Smith. You can give that haircut. Too soon? Too soon?
Gonna attack me.
So are you on team Chris Rock or team Will Smith?
You know,
This
kind of well,
yes, I do know that.
and I think there's a line, and I think he crossed it. I didn't think he knew he crossed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what a lame joke. It's kind of a hack joke.
Yeah.
Who remembers that movie?
Yeah.
Who remembers G.I. Jane 2? It's not your. He'll tell you that's not his best work.
Right.
So I'm on Team Will up until right that point.
Yes.
Then the physical altercation happens,
The slap heard around the world.
and my right to swing my fist ends when it
Right.
comes in contact with your face. You can't do that because somebody said over the line, lame joke. It wasn't even the response would be like G.I. Jane 2. Isn't that movie like 60 years? Like what? That's the response.
Yes.
And then I've done this. We'll relate this to the fire service. I've done a dumb thing and made it worse by doing 3 more successive dumb things. When all I had to do was stop and say, I did a dumb thing.
Right.
All you have to do is just stop. And the scoreboard will read, you 0, the thing 1. You try to cover a dumb thing with a dumb thing with a dumb thing, it's going to be 3-0 before you know it.
What's the dumb thing you did, and the dumb things that covered it up?
Oh, man. Me personally?
Yes.
It was the early days of the internet, and I talked trash about an instructor that I had on the internet.
Nice. Very well done.
Whew. It was like it wasn't Facebook yet. It was just like I had a blog, and I was like,
GeoCities.
Huh?
You had a GeoCities blog.
Yeah, I had a GeoCities. It had a little under construction stick figure thing up. And
That terrible music.
I did about an instructor who didn't deserve it, and I get hauled in on it, and then I used my 24-year-old terrible understanding of this country's constitution to defend myself.
Right.
And I doubled down and then tripled down, and it was just.
So you went freedom of speech.
Huh?
You went freedom of speech right off the bat.
They're like, well, you're not going to be jailed for it, but we might fire you. So, but before I knew it, I was up to my neck in trouble. When all I had to do was say, I'm sorry, and delete. That's all I had to do.
Who was the instructor? Can you say?
It was a total 24-year-old. I like justice. I was out for justice. I was being treated unfairly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sucks.
What I should have said was nothing.
Yep. That's all. That's the one thing that the military taught me right off the bat is just say yes, no, and it will never happen twice.
It will never happen again.
Yeah.
There have been very few moments where I can just look and say, I was 100% wrong from the jump.
Right.
Yeah. But, I'm better off for it.
My big one was, it wasn't fire related. I just got married. And when I say just got married, I mean within like 20 hours ago. Mm-hmm. Me, my lovely bride, my brother-in-law, and her sister start the night out drinking. And for some reason, still don't know, I just thought it'd be a great time to start motherfucking my new wife. And I yelled at her. I cursed at her. And her sister and her split, and they walked off to kind of let me cool down. To this day, I don't know what I was mad about. Right. She threw the house keys down and called me a baby. I went home. I started drinking more. My brother-in-law was trying to get me to calm down. Again, nothing was done. My wife said it did nothing. It was just all of a sudden I felt like, this is a good time to show her what kind of level of cocksucker I can be. Right. I can be a real piece of shit. And it's a joke now, 15, 16 years later, But the worst of it was I go home and I'm like, fuck, of course I'm drunk. Fuck this. I'm out. We're done. I pack up all these clothes. I call a cab. I walk outside. I see the cab. The part of my brain that's actually somewhat logical said, hey, man, maybe you should rethink this. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. So I go back in and it all gets calmed down like fights do when you're drunk. Wake up the next morning. And this is the worst part. The next morning, I apologize because you wake up and as soon as you wake up, you realize everything you did. You're like, and then you try to find a reason why it was her fault, right? Save a little face.
Point fingers in direction.
They all pointed back at me. Here's the worst part. The rest of our trip, I'm apologizing. She's like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm like, oh. She was nice to me the rest of the time. And I was like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve it. But I was a super dick. We have a picture of the night right before it started in the bar, taking a picture, all four of us. And I look at that picture. I'm like, yeah, I'm T-minus 5 minutes from being a complete jerk. Yeah, that was mine.
And for you, how often does that memory, that core memory you have, how often does that prevent you from reaching that level ever again?
Oh, dude, I don't know that I've ever hit that level again.
So silver lining, maybe not the best timing for it.
Right.
But how many fights have you geared down? How many times have you been emotional that you've geared down and not reached that level?
Yes.
I made a gigantic mess out of everything using my Blogspot account. And then what shows up 3 years later? Facebook.
Uh-oh.
I've already been burned by the stove. I shan't be doing it again. Watch every dummy from here to Timbuktu absolutely ruin their lives with this brand new thing so had I not burned my hand on that stove, I'd have been dummy number one right in there. Let me tell you what I think about this. I'll tell you that mayor they got down there in Hickory Stick sure doesn't know what he's so no.
Me personally, I love the rebel flag, and here are 5 reasons why.
Because I like flags that have no winds. Oh.
A flag that represents
consolation.
A complete loss, so much so that entire, in parentheses, country disappeared.
Yeah, doesn't exist anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, no. They let Burma be a country, but not Burma's messed up so bad they better change their name, but they're still a country.
Yep.
So, but no, I think that going to that place, I had to go to that place to get to this place because I wouldn't have been responsible when this behemoth is social media. Now, okay. Oh man. I wanted to ask you about this.
Go ahead.
Oh man. Okay. If you are of an opinion, and this is social media, if you're of an opinion and you are the only one that thinks that way, and the consensus across the board thinks the opposite, I'm of the opinion that maybe I should take a look in the mirror and try to figure out why we're not jiving. If I'm the only fish swimming that direction and everyone else is going, here I have a problem with social media.
Okay.
And the fire service.
Oh, I'm listening. Now you got me.
My parents worked extremely hard as a barber and a teacher. Extremely hard. I wish they'd had fewer children because, man, there were just so many people. In that house, there was just so many people. But the center of our lives was our home. That's where the Christmas and Thanksgiving and every birthday and everything centered around that house, they still live in to this day. If that house were to catch on fire, and I got on Facebook the next day, and there are like 8 dudes standing in front in like the little league picture day pose, smiling in front of my parents' burned out house, I'm not going to get mad. I'm just going to start punching people in the face. Am I wrong? Does it feel gross to take team photos of other people's burned out dreams?
No,
Am I wrong?
You're right. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but you're right. I see that quite a bit. And I tell you what, I've never looked at it as if it was my house. So you've changed me forever. Now, every time I see one of those photos, you're right. You're right.
I'll tell you who I zero my hate in on when I see those photos.
Come
Is
on.
the one guy, like he's in the front of the line, like a little, like he's like a little leaguer, and he goes down on one knee, and they're just cheesing and smiling. And behind them, all I can see, all I can see is my parents' house and what they've worked for since, for 60 years. And you're taking a smiling, it feels gross. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me.
Right. I don't know that you're wrong. I don't know that you're wrong.
I'm fine with you taking the picture and having it in your personal album. Have it, because I wish 18 years in, I wish I had more pictures. I've got one picture on my wall from my favorite crew. I wish I had more pictures. But to put it on Facebook, especially in a smaller community of like 300,000 and less, someone's going to know someone. It just feels a little gross. And I just feel like I'm the only person that has that opinion. Like, we don't have to take a team photo after.
Yes, I agree. And I've never thought of it like that, though, because if you do see that on the not like we have my deputy chief is sort of our PIO guy, so he takes pictures of every fire of them working, and he'll post that. But no, I don't think there's any pictures of Little League pictures of
holding a pipe pole.
Yeah. Plus, are you really selling your skill set particularly well in front of a burned out building as firefighters?
Yeah, everyone goes home but the homeowner.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's like, a plumber standing in front of a flooded, house going, look at me.
Yeah, it makes me want to comment slab savers.
Well, Alan Bruinsini said in the back of, I think it was Instant Command, he had all these little quotes, and one of them was this little sign that said, this parking lot made, provided by so-and-so fire department or whatever.
The slab savers, yeah. Look. I don't want to be a downer, and I'm not pointing finger calling by out, because I got plenty. You can call me on all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. It just feels gross.
From that point of view, which I've never thought of before, I think you're right. Okay. I think you're right. What else?
You're gonna get some mail on this one.
I don't know. I kind of, I don't. I've got a few things that people don't agree with, but everybody's got opinion, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, most of them think I Photoshop my face because I'm so handsome. They're like, nobody's this handsome. I get that a lot. I'm like, no, I'm this handsome.
No, nobody's buying this tan.
Oh, I'm buying the tan. So do you go every place you post, or are there places that you post that you've never gone on Facebook?
I go everywhere I post. I got a side gig I travel for.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, please.
You like horsies.
I love horses.
And you like competitive horsies.
Racing horses, yes.
Is that what they're called?
Race horses, yeah.
So competitive horsies is that not the slang?
Battle ponies?
Battle ponies. What got you into that?
Thoroughbred horse racing, yes. That's my.
What got you into that?
Let me tell you a secret, but I do post a lot of places that I'm going. It's always 3 days behind, and I'm already home before I post it.
I did not know that.
I'm already home when I post it because...
You want people to rob you.
I don't want people to rob my house.
Yes, I get that.
My grandfather was a thoroughbred racehorse trainer.
Okay.
So clearly, I should be a thoroughbred racehorse. Walk right in. Here's my Preakness trophy. Here it is right here. You just hand it. See how I did that? I turned it on myself.
I like it.
My grandfather was a trainer, and my brother Tim, who you met, is a trainer. And I handle the office and business end.
Okay.
So that's my side gig.
And you travel a lot. So what are you doing when you go to Saratoga quite a bit? What do you do there?
That's one of the biggest race meets in the country, and it's one of the biggest sales. We usually get our horses from the Saratoga sale.
Okay.
So Saratoga, New York is my favorite place in the whole world, for sure.
Nice.
Other than New Albany, Indiana.
Oh, please, exactly. You know that. You got that shit, right?
Other than the Floyd County Brewing Company.
Oh, that's where we had beers.
I took my wife back there, and she loved it.
Oh, is that right? Oh, you came back for the other magic show? Nice. Yeah, that Floyd County Brewing Company is awesome. They got good beer. And then in the summertime, they've got this beer garden out back. They keep like buying property behind it. And they got this kick-ass beer garden, and they have live music and this huge screen behind them. It's great.
I guess I have a brother that plays there on Wednesday nights.
You guess you have a brother that plays there Wednesday nights? Or you know there's a brother?
I know I have a brother that plays guitar there on Wednesday night.
Okay. What's his name?
David.
David plays there?
Yeah, David.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, my brother David.
What band does he play with?
He's solo. He's solo, man.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because there's another guy. There's a vetter that plays there.
It's called Power Slide.
Power Slide?
Maybe.
Is there a bunch of people in this band?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That one there is. It's like an ensemble.
Yeah, so I like how you said ensemble because you added an extra syllable. It's ensemble. Ensemble. So there is a group, I can't think the name, but one of the people in there is a vetter. I think his name is Shannon Vetter. And his brother and wife are really, really some of our favorite people, period. And, we love the Vetters, and everybody loves the Vetters, though. But yeah, his brother, Shannon Vetter, plays in this big ensemble group, and that might be it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very cool. I did not know that your brother David did that.
Yeah, he's a musician.
So does he live up here?
He does.
Nice.
Other side of the river, I think.
And the Louisville?
On the Louisville side.
Yeah, gotcha. So
I never get over there much to Louisville.
Why? You don't like Louisville?
It's not like Churchill Downs.
That's about Churchill Downs versus Keeneland. Which is your favorite?
Keeneland by far.
Boom.
Keeneland is so much better. And then Saratoga.
Nice.
I'd say, but honestly, my favorite racetrack in the country is probably Oaklawn and Hot Springs, Arkansas. Ooh, I like Fairgrounds in New Orleans too.
I love New Orleans.
Yeah,
love New Orleans.
I race in New Orleans and I love it.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. You know what we ought to do? We ought to just go ahead, you and me, and go to the French Quarter, cause a couple problems.
I think so.
Sometimes I'll go down there and as soon as I get into the French Quarter, I'll get me big old pint of whole milk and I'll drink that. And then because you get kind of a calcium feeling, and after a while I'll go down to 2%. And then usually about 2-3 in the morning, I'm like chocolate milk or soy milk or something. But it's a hot mess after that.
Let me tell you, I guess this whole theme of this conversation is aging.
Yes.
Getting older. You know what I'm more excited about than the drinkings?
What's that?
It's the hot, fresh pralines, the pralines.
Oh.
You can get those on every corner. Like on the plane, I start thinking about pralines, not about anything else.
Well, speaking of old people like watching certain TV shows. While in the French Quarter, stopped the filming of a very popular TV show and didn't even know it.
Matlock.
No. It was New Orleans or whatever, CSI or whatever.
How did you stop the production of CSI?
So I was pretty far in the bag. There was no more walking in straight lines. There was no more coherent speaking. So I come around this corner and everybody is just stopped. They're just standing still and they're looking like they're mannequins and they're holding bags like shopping bags. They're holding food and they're just stopped. And so I walk up to this lady. I had her and another lady, and I said, hey, what's going on? She goes, you really shouldn't be here. She wouldn't turn her head. She just goes, you really shouldn't be here. And again, I'm a little inebriated because of all the chocolate milk. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, snotty lady. I walk across the street where the people are like pointed this way. And I said, hey, what's going on here? And they go, you really should go. And I was like, what the fuck is up? And all of a sudden this little guy comes up with a reflective vest and he's just running, right? And couldn't be cooler. He goes, hey, man, you're right in the middle of our shot. And I look around. I couldn't really see the cameras because they were way up the other end of the street. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. He goes, no, it's good. It's good. He goes, just come over here so you can't be in the shot, but you can watch it. And so I sat there and watched them film it. And then as soon as I got out of the way and they yelled action, all those people just started walking in
In
between.
different,
Yeah, with different directions. And so, yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was the first season of
it wasn't a barrier. There wasn't
no
a
barrier, no nothing. There was a huge outdoor cooking thing, which I thought was weird. I actually went around it and I said something to one of the chefs there. It was their craft services, I guess.
right.
But there was no barriers and people are walking everywhere. And I just happened to walk around that corner past craft services and everybody's just standing still. And there wasn't like a bunch of lights and cameras and stuff. It just was what it was.
Can you? You were not the first person that day.
I couldn't have been. I was the drunkest.
You could, because so we went down there for the races, and it was mid-January, and I was like, well, we won't get to really experience Bourbon Street like Mardi Gras. Every night is like that.
Yep.
It's not exclusive to Mardi Gras. It's just worse than I hear.
Yes.
But every night is like that down there.
Right.
Can you imagine running out of a firehouse down there?
I did. I went in there and because they sell T-shirts and stuff down south towards the Mississippi side of it, and it was pretty cool. But see, the thing about Bourbon Street is you go down. A friend of mine who's from there said, look, he drew a map for me of all the things I need to see, and I've been there 3 or 4 times now, and I keep checking stuff off. And I go back to certain things, but I still have quite a few things to do. And but he said, look, you're going to go down Bourbon Street. And that's about all you're going to do on Bourbon Street. You want to veer off all the good stuff. Bourbon Street's for the tourist, and you do need to go down it. It's it's not that it's not cool. It's just there's so much more than just Bourbon Street. And then, yeah, and a lot of people don't realize if you walk down Bourbon Street long enough, it turns into housing. Like houses are down there. No more bars or restaurants or stores. It's just houses. And I got the biggest kick out of walking around and talking to people sitting outside their houses. I would just stop and just start chatting them up. And I would go to the next group and just chat them up. I mean, I spent quite a bit of time doing that. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
I went down there with a girlfriend one time in college. And she was really into voodoo.
Oh.
And tarot cards.
Yep.
And she was really into all that. And then I'm friends with her on Facebook still, and she needs to see more evidence before she'll get the vaccine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But she's voodoo and tarot.
Right. But she needs science now when it comes to the vaccine.
I got to see some peer-reviewed studies. No peer review? No. Anyway, it's the Ace of Death. The 6 of Cups.
There's a ton of voodoo stuff down there. That is for sure.
Your love line, you'll die.
Right. Yeah. But I'm not taking the vaccine until I see some more.
Now keep that.
I need more science. I just need more science.
Now, if you have a little doll that looks like my enemies, hand it on out.
Right. Got that covered.
That's injected.
Right.
Needles are going into that.
Yes.
Not this arm. No.
Not that bad boy.
Now it alienated your entire audience.
All 4 of them?
All 4.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Silly.
Yeah. My opinions are mine and not of any employer, past, present, or future.
Well, I'm on the 34th floor of 3-Point Firefighter Tower, and my staff is pretty robust. I've got about 16 people, and then each one of them has 3 or 4 underneath them working. So I would hate to lose their jobs because of shit you said. If only there was some type of software to where I could take a video and maybe imagine if I could take part of a video and then get rid of it and like it never existed before people see it.
Thank you.
And another one, drinkable urine. Boom.
That's what Mountain Dew is. Mountain Dew, drinkable urine.
When you got too many teeth, Mountain Dew will do.
When you think it, when you were describing your office,
Uh-huh.
it was just the set of Mad Men. Is what I was. Yeah, just scotch and pretty ladies everywhere.
Yep. No, it's actually a goddamn basement.
It's
That's
beautiful.
It's a
This
beautiful
is my
basement.
bed. My wife and I have separate bedrooms.
You have separate bedrooms?
We do.
That's
We
awesome.
do. Because our schedules, our entire with her being a police officer and me at the fire department and a farmer. I get up super early with the horses. It's not, we can't share a room. Somebody's clopping in at any hour.
Now, do you, when it becomes to marital relations, do you invite?
Always my room.
Is it always in your room?
Always my room.
So she's all fine with gumming up your stuff, but you can't. That's not right.
No, I'm not. I don't even go in there.
Now, do things get to the point where she like ruins your civil rights, or does she just keep that at work?
That's all that. I'll tell you. If you think that the fire service encroaches on your home life, boy, are we rank amateurs. Being a cop comes home.
Really?
That job is. Who would want that job? What sort of person would want? Like, are you terrible at working as a team? Do you want to just be on your own for a little while?
Do you like shooting people?
Yeah. Yeah, do you hate people? Well, have I got the job for you? Long-haul truck driver.
Yeah, I actually have a guy, he's a brand new recruit, but he's spent the past 9 years in the police force, and he's very happy to no longer be a policeman.
Yeah, but she loves it. She gets just boss people around, like, all the time.
Does she boss you around?
All the time.
Does she hurt you? Blink if she hurts you.
No. This relationship. People, and then they'll say the dumbest stuff. I'll tell this one.
Tell it. You tell it.
Hopefully you'll have enough for a whole podcast if we just split.
I've got about a 15-minute podcast going right now.
She walked in. She's the commander. She walked in just like in TV. She went to the briefing room, and she was mad. She was ticked off at roll call because a kid had been hit by a speeding driver in my parents' neighborhood. And my son's over there all the time. So she walks in a huff, big stack of papers, slams them on the little podium just like on TV, and goes, "Listen, I want you folks out there writing tickets from now until Christmas, as many as you can. We're going to slow them down in that neighborhood. No exceptions." And then storms off. So I didn't know any of this. I didn't know the little kid got hit. I didn't know that meeting occurred. Who knew? So I dropped my son off at my parents' house. I was going to go have myself a nice little breakfast all by myself. And I was getting it down in their car. And I get pulled over by a police officer. And his little badge says, "Serving since yesterday." Brand. And he walks up to the thing and he's mad at me. He has taken her attitude and has brought it with him all the way to my window. And he's getting mad. Like, I don't have time to explain. Like, he's giving me the right about slowing down. It's license and registration. I'm like, "Here you go, pal. I don't want any trouble." So he goes back, and he was just real snotty, real stern. He's back there for about 10 minutes back in his car. He comes back, and he has a different attitude. He has run the name of the person who owns the vehicle. It's a So he walks up to the thing, and he goes, like, the face isn't stern anymore. It's just wide-eyed. And he goes, "What do I do?" I said, I'm still sitting in my car like, I don't know, man. What do you do? He's like, "You tell me what to do. I don't know what." He's almost crying. And I said, "What is the problem?" He goes, "My boss just told me to write as many tickets as I can, no exceptions. And then the first person that comes by is her husband. Is this a trick?" Like, what do I do? Do I write her husband a ticket or do I let you off? What do I do? And I said, "Calm down." I said, "Settle down. Write the ticket. Bring it back. I'll pay it before she even knows about it." And he was really cool. Like, he went back there and like nervously wrote out the ticket. But I used that $170 ticket is absolutely got me out of everything. Because I get phone calls from people at all hours like, "Hey man, I got pulled over in Lexington. Can can your wife do something? Like, buddy, she can't even fix mine. It gets me out of all.
Best $170 you ever spent.
Best $170 I ever spent. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Now, let's say you rob a bank and accidentally shoot multiple people in the face. Are you going to take the rap for that, or are you going to utilize the fact that she's a cop and try to get out of it?
Right. I'm in the past. What have I done?
What would you do now?
What would I do? I can take a pinch, man.
Can you do time?
I can do time.
You can.
Three. I'm a father of a 10-year-old. 3 hots and a cot and no Encanto on the TV screen. Yeah, I'm cool. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just curious because don't threaten me with a good time.
No, take me to jail right now. Good people, good food, good times, basketball.
But here's the problem. You're very handsome, and I can see you being passed around for chocolates and cigarettes.
Hey, do I get like a portion of the cigarettes and chocolates?
No. Have you ever seen Oz?
I have seen Oz.
Imagine that, but way worse.
When the house landed on the woman?
No.
Hmm?
No, not Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz.
No. Oz.
Those curled?
We're going to go with that. We're going to go with that one. Brother Nick, I got a heart out. I got a big party to go to.
You go to your party.
I'm going to go, but I want to tell you this. Thank you for being on. I love you to death, buddy, and I cannot wait to see you again.
Yeah. Did I do you okay, you think?
Hold on. I'm going to tell you all. Let me stop recording, and then I will tell you all the ways you fucked up. All right?
I admit to them all.
Thanks for being on, buddy.
Thank you.